to dive into the next item of what makes a successful project, to have clear expectations and requirements, you need someone to orchestrate and manage all of these requirements and specific items that developers will be doing in a project, and that comes from your project manager or your BA, which is really just a business analyst, but in the industry they call them BAs.
Yep. Yeah, so like what makes a good project manager? And there are good ones and there are bad ones for sure. And that can definitely make or break a project.
Right.
Project managers are just there, if you don't know yet, what they're there for is just to keep everybody on task, talk between the business and the development team.
Right.
And kind of set clear expectations and answer questions from both sides. That whole communication.
Right. And you can say they're a buffer between the two.
They are. Yeah, they keep you where the business is. It shouldn't be coming directly to the developers.
Right.
And if they let them through, that's usually the PM's fault.
Right. So. And the PM will manage expectations. They'll manage that line of communication. It's the project manager's responsibility to take what the client says and interpret that into some type of user story or user requirement, and give it precise details. And for me, throughout the years, I've seen some really good PMs that are good at taking what a customer wants and documenting it down as requirements. And then there are bad ones that just, they just write a headline, they create a user story or create a project item, and there's no detail to it.
And what happens is the developer takes what they think it may be and they write it to their perception. The acceptance criteria isn't written out for that story or that task. And they do what they perceive as correct, and the business is like, this isn't what we asked for. Right. And that's why you want a PM that can do that.
And sometimes you can, and sometimes I hate to say this term, but you can train your PM too, because I recently worked at a company where some of the project task items or user stories were just headlines, and in the detail section of the user story there were no details. There wasn't any steps to, steps to duplicate or steps to create something, or what is the process flow. It was left up to me. So as a developer, I had to go back and I had to ask specific questions, and then the PM came back and documented the user stories and things like that. So, sometimes if you feel like you have a PM that is not up to snuff, I hate to say that, but you can help them and guide them in the right direction, and that comes with experience too. As an experienced developer,
you didn't know, right?
As a new developer, someone who's new to the industry or something like that, this is your first job. You may not know, how to assist a PM on getting requirements and user stories set, in the right direction.
But now that you're watching the video, you'll
know. Yeah, you'll know. So ask questions. Help your PM identify. What is this item really supposed to do?
And maybe some issues, like just because it's in the story and it's in the acceptance criteria, the developer sometimes can see stuff that the business didn't see, like based on how the code is written, and you want to bring those questions up as a developer. I mean, we're going into more like, how can a developer make a project successful? But I mean, that's good to. I mean, you can speak up. You don't just take.
These are just things that you can use if you feel like you don't have what you're getting out of a PM, and you're not getting what you need out of a user story and things like that.
Help make your PM great.
Yeah.